Hey, folks, Bruce Parkman here with the Mac Parkman Foundation and Broken Brains, where we do a little bit of short segment work called Shorties, where we take questions and comments from our audience, and then I just talk about it for 5 or 6 minutes, let you know what I think and usually what the science and research says. So we got a question over here that says, can I work out after a concussion? And, the issue is, like we talked about many times, a concussion is a brain injury. So can you work out? Yeah, but you got to be careful. Okay. And that, it all centers around what are you going to do? Now, there is a lot of research now showing that inactivity after concussion is not the best thing. As a matter of fact, most doctors now are recognizing that, some light activity, riding a stationary bike, taking a walk, is in fact good because you got to get the brain circulating. You got to get the blood moving. Your brain's trying to get rid of all the chemicals and trash that builds up from neuroinflammation. It's got to get rid of it. And that's why we exercise to get that blood moving. But you're not going out for a 5 mile run. All right. Get on an exercise bike, 10, 20 minutes. Just take it nice and easy. Work it up. You don't have to even break a sweat. Just get a little bit of activity out there. But there are risks. All right. If you go back, like anything in the world, if you come back too fast, the risk of re-injury or recover, whether it's a busted leg or a pulled muscle, is there. So you really have to respect your body. Just like we ask you to respect your brain, respect your body when you're coming back because that's going to take care of your brain. And your brain is way more important and way more fragile than a strained muscle. You strain your bicep, it's going to heal. You strain your brain, then we hope it heals. And we can't even tell if it heals with our inability to see inside the head. As I state over and over again, we know more about outer space than we know actually how the brain enters. So then we know about the brain itself. So once you have a concussion, then, you have inflammation, right? You have a lot of you actually have 4 injuries when you have a concussion. You've got the initial point of contact, then the brain bounces off the other side of the skull. Then you have inflammation in both areas. And that takes time to clear. So do you want to go back to working out immediately after concussion? No, give yourself some time. Let the pain absolutely go away. If you're still having headaches and you're feeling foggy or you're emotionally impacted, just quit. There's no rush to get back out in the field. I don't care what your mom and dad say. I don't care what your kids say. I don't care what your coaches say. This is all about you getting back to play in a safe manner that's going to protect that brain that you need so much as you keep going on through life. So as you look at how are you going to go back, you're going to start out with light activity, and this is in line with the CDC return to play protocols. You're going to go through a light period of movement where you're just kind of working out. It's going to increase to moderate activity, and then when you start getting into controlled training, we still don't want to see any impact. You should not be impacting that brain. If they say 2 weeks, I'd take a month, man. Depending on how hard you had hit, we have no idea what's going on inside your brain. And I know this is counter to a lot of you who strongly identify with your sports. But in the end, we have to take care of that brain. So I would heavily advise against any contact for at least 2 weeks and then keep it light. You don't have to go full speed or anything like that. I would say keep it up to 30 days. And if you have any recurring or long-term symptoms that you had from that concussion, could be anything, light noise sensitivity, could be headaches, could be inability to sleep, could be, some anxiety, depression, whatever it is, you're not going back to play. That brain of yours is more important than any sport that you'll play for the rest of your life. And you can ask any NFL player that's played in the NFL and then left and maybe didn't make it the 4 years and is, having significant impacts. And you can talk to NHL players. You can talk to lacrosse. I've talked to these folks. Okay. And all of them wish they would have waited. A few of them say they wouldn't have changed anything, and that's their right. I got it. But all of them wish that they would have waited. So, what are the mistakes that you could possibly make when coming back from a concussion? Well, it's coming back too quick. Okay, you have got a brain injury. Okay, and that's what a concussion is. It's not a headache like most people would have you think. Okay. And this has impacts. Your brain controls everything in your body. Could be hormonal regulation. It could be neurological dysfunction. It could be, mental illness. It could be a host of things. Could be just simple headaches. I mean, I've had more concussions than your average bear. Okay. I've woken up in the middle of rugby pitches more than I can count. I've been knocked out on parachute jumps, and those are the heavy ones, okay? And I've gone through thousands of things with, blasts and bullets and playing, contact sports, for most of my life. I played till I was 60. And I didn't respect my brain. And my brain broke 3.5 years ago. My brain broke after years and years of impact. And I didn't play professional sports. I played semi-pro rugby. It was like one season a year, but it took decades. But I didn't start playing till I was 29. And so coming back from a concussion is all about respecting your brain. And I would ask you parents, and I would ask you athletes, and I would ask you veterans to respect that brain. We all have strong identities with whoever we are, the sport, our military careers, whatever it is. But knowing what we know now, the impacts are far reaching, far more reaching than we ever knew. It's not just the headache. So when you've had a concussion, and understand what a concussion is: dizziness, lightheadedness, blurred vision, your bell's been rung, got a brain injury, man. Don't keep pushing yourself, and you're going to be fine. So take care of yourself. Concussions are inevitable. You like to play contact sports and you're older, that's fine. That's your choice, okay? But be safe, be careful. And when you have a concussion, take it seriously. Hope you listen to me. Remember, if you have children, you only have one melon. Take care of them and pay attention to that brain, man. And God bless you all. We'll see you next time on Broken Brains.